Hello and welcome to this week's endeavour that is the Bond Buzz. How are you? And you will note from the screen that we're separated again. We were together briefly in Sweden, in Örebro, and yet here we are. It's all over. It's all got over very quickly. And in the branch office once again is my lovely colleague Bonita Drake. Bonnie, how are you, my love?
I'm fine. We have snow. So, yep, it's Sweden. We have snow. It's November, and I'm worried that I'm coming down with a bit of a cold.
Well, we
So if I,
um
so
we've had a couple of we've had a couple of days where it's been really very cold. I may have discussed this while we were together, but I always have trouble with duvets. I'm always too warm. I'm naturally a warm kind of fella, right? So I take with me, and I advise people of a similar ilk to do this. I take a cooling blanket with me everywhere. It started when I was in hot climates, Corfu, for instance, when I was there in the summer. So I can go under the covers, just under my little blanket, and still remain nice and cool, even though there's a little bit of aircon on. Anyway, so I use it everywhere. I take it everywhere with me. And I used it in Sweden. It was perfect. I have come here the last couple of days. It has been freezing the bollocks off the ponies, if that's the phrase I'm looking for. Absolutely Baltic. Um, and my cooling blanket, I appreciate it's a cooling blanket and keeps things cool, is a little too cool for little Johnny, who wants to try and stay a little warmer in bed. So I've been under the duvet. And for the first time in, I would say, 10, 15 years, I've been under a duvet and have appreciated it enormously. It's been cold for us, 4 degrees here, 3 degrees here. I know you've probably had minus double figures back where you are, but it's been really, really, and we've got snow coming. We've had a bit of a chilly period, so I don't do cold very well anymore. I used to love it as a kid. I mean, but your country is sort of just braced for snow. You know exactly what to do when snow happens. It just, life goes on. You get a cold, but life goes on. Here, everything comes to a standstill because we don't know what to do.
it's changed recently. I was at the train station about an hour ago, and the train was over an hour late, which is completely unusual. It used to be no problem. So I don't
Right.
know what's happened with the trains recently. But
Um,
yeah, usually it's very good.
that is interesting because um, I was staying with Anders Fridge from Sweden with love, and he was telling me, look, Swedish trains, they got it all mapped out. I said, look, it says on the app. He said to me, download this app. SL was the app. He says, download this app and then put in your from and to, and it will tell you exactly where to go from, where to go to, and more importantly, how long that trip will take. And he says, look, you want to, so I was going to meet you in town. I was going to meet you in Stockholm. We're going to have lunch. And it said, oh, 7 minutes. And I went, 7 minutes. Do you know it took 7 minutes? I mean, it was absolutely spot on. Only for the fact that I'd come out of a different entrance is what the issue was, and spent the next 15 minutes ringing you, going, I'm not sure if you know where I am. I'm here. And then eventually we managed through Instagram video calling each other, going, oh, you're there. Ah, right, stay there. I'll be with you. But the Swedish system, and can I also say, the train system they have there, it's so much better than the UK system. And I've travelled on the underground a lot. But when you arrive at the train station, you tap your bank card. I mean, you can apply for a travel card, can't you? Like a Oyster card that we have here, and you tap it, and that's you done, and you get 75 minutes absolutely free. Let that,
And
eh,
that's the tube, the bus, and the tram.
yeah,
They're all
you
connected.
let that sink in for a moment, British listeners. You go anywhere in Sweden, you tap your card to go in. Let's use the train station as an example. The barrier opens, and you then have 75 minutes to do what you want for nothing, for gratis, right? They give you 75 minutes. Um, if you, I don't know, let's say you spend 85 minutes on a trip, well, it's only costing you 10 minutes worth of travel, right? The rest of it is yours. And they do this. And then you were telling me, if you don't use that amount, so your trip has in half an hour, let's say, the remainder for that is bankable. Do they sort that out and put it back to the card? How does that work? Tell me.
No, what it is that you have that length of time, but you can leave the train station and come back as long as it's within that 75
Ah,
minutes.
okay. So they're still giving it to you because it's yours, but how
Yes.
you choose to use it is still up to you. That's oh, I see.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
what
sense.
I usually do is I catch the train and then I leave the train station to catch the tram. I leave the tram and I do a last little bit on a bus.
Right.
And that all is in the 75 minutes. So it
Yes.
costs me roughly £4.
See now, and from a UK point of view, we tap in to go in. We then get on whatever train we're going on, and then we have to tap out at the other end in order to complete that journey, and therefore the payment has been made. Whereas this system looks like it's a great deal simpler and easier, I must say. Also, your trams and your trains, they're not a million miles away from each other. Your trams, they're kind of train-like, whereas our trams look like buses on rails. Whereas yours are definitely trains, but they're just called trams and they're on tram lines as opposed to train lines. But still very, very good. So if I've taken anything away from this trip, apart from the fact that I don't want to be here anymore, I want to be in Sweden, is the fact that your transport situation is spectacular, and I've enjoyed that enormously. So yes, we've been.
I think it's that thing that our taxes are very high, but you can see where the money goes.
Yeah, I think that's important because, how many times have we said, well, where's the money going? We spend this amount, you tax me on this, you tax me on that, but we don't see where the money's going. In Sweden, you see where the money's going. You know, right, this is what we're doing for it. It's a very, very good system. And I was very, very impressed with it. I didn't really experience it much last time because I think for the first time that I was there was just in and around Ubru. So I think this time traveling to Stockholm, doing bits and pieces around that, it's great. It does open your eyes as far as, well, this is what could happen if a government actually got its arse in gear and said, okay, let's do something for the people. So, yes, huge
I
fun
always
there.
love because something they do is in the winter, if they don't get enough snow, they actually bring a ton of snow into the center of town so that the little kids can like snowball down it. And that's totally
Ah.
free. And you see the bulldozers come in with tons of snow. And then in the summer, sometimes we've done it once or twice. They put a big like water slide straight down the middle of the town. So they closed the road and there was a water slide and that was free as well. So they do a hell of a lot of things for free.
Now, again, let's just look at that for a moment, right? The genuine idea that a town or city that is struggling enough with general situations as far as snow, ice is concerned, would then bulldoze in snow so that the kids can have a great time is lunacy. I mean, it just simply would not work here. But I just think that's brilliant that you go, right, okay, well, there's not enough snow around here. It's thawed out. Bring it in from so and so. Contact the community in this village and that town, and we'll bring bulldozer lorry loads of the stuff in. Keep it cold, obviously. Don't let it melt, and then we'll dump it here, and all the kids can have a great time. Brilliant. I think that's outside the box, but it's not something that we do here. People, slightest bit of, and I get to a certain age. I think it happened about 10 years ago. I got to about 40 and I went, oh, I don't like this bloody snow anymore. I'd salt everything to make sure that there was no snow anywhere. But of course, kids love it. They absolutely love it. And they don't. I remember when I was a kid, when I got an opportunity to toboggan down somewhere, it wasn't quite as attractive, I must say, as Sweden. We used to toboggan off the main street, halfway down the road, opposite the church, St. Lawrence's Church, was a butcher's, right? Called Pete Cooling's. It's not there. It's a nail bar now. And then you would go directly down behind that, and the road would slope away, quite steep, all the way to the bottom. And at the very bottom, on the right-hand side, was the abattoir. And that was really very noisy. But nevertheless, that particular slope was the place that all the kids and their toboggans and bin lids and tea trays would take to go down. And it was absolutely sensational. You know, kids from all over the place. There'd be broken limbs, there'd be blooded faces, you name it. We had injuries galore. But there was also parents down there shoving their kids down, fetching them down from the bottom, resetting brakes and rubbing magic spray onto people. And right, go on off again, having a half hour, and then we're going off for tea. Oh, right, Dad, yeah, and all this sort of stuff. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But when it was gone, it was gone. But from a Swedish perspective, hang on, it's gone. Right, let's ship it in from somewhere else. I like that. Very good.
The
Thinking
other thing
outside the
we do
box.
is we've got a fountain. You know those fountains that are like sprays,
Oh,
so
yes,
it's completely flat, and the kids like walking through that.
through the holes in
In
the
the
bottom, yeah.
wind, yep, that's it. In the winter, they slightly flood that area, and then they bring in wooden benches, and then that turns into an ice rink.
See, it's brilliant. Just it's that sort of how can we involve the community? How can we do something
Mm.
to make it to also the community go, oh look, they've really thought about this. They've done something. Instead of, well, they're not doing anything with the roads and they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Yeah, very good. And I miss it terribly. And it's lovely to see you, but you're
And
not
I
sat
miss
next to me.
you.
It's not sat next to me. I can't poke you like I did last. Oi, she's real. If you haven't seen our last video from the Roxy bio, check it out, please. It's still available. Went up the other day, and it's had a number of views so far. So go and join them there. We better crack on then, I suppose, seeing as it's getting late now. I've had my dinner, and have you eaten this evening?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
You have.
I'm getting ready for bed.
Oh, good Lord, blimey, there's no secrets between her anymore, is there? So we'll crack on with what's Bonnie drinking after that just concoction of nonsense that she gave me last night that was you're the must no, don't drink it. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Um, the other ones were terrific. I enjoyed those normally. What are you drinking this evening, Bonnie?
In your honor,
In my
I'm
honour.
drinking your must.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
How do I get that in a good shot?
No, it's not. It won't be in
King.
a good shot, even if it was
No.
surrounded by Yule must. Oh, it's terrible. Um, you've accidentally
It,
thrown up in your own mouth. That's kind of what it is. Just appalling.
you gotta get used to it.
No, I won't be getting used to it. It just tastes horrible. Do you know what I'm going to be getting used to? I'm going to go one slightly better at your own game here. I'm going to be going. Oh, hang on. I've got to bring this into shot. There we go. We are.
It keeps coming and going because of the blue. Is that coffee?
No, it's espresso martini.
Okay. Oh,
In a
that sounds
espresso
nice.
martini in a can.
Mm.
I'm going to give that a bash. Oh, that was quite an exciting sizzle, wasn't it? Talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I pour this, and then probably stay awake all night. Oh, it's just
See,
the
I'm
right
still very
smell.
suspicious. The only drink you managed to tip all over the floor in the cinema was the one that you said tasted really badly.
Weird that, isn't it? I sort of caught it with my right toe quite by accident. I'm just going to have a quick go on the our espresso martini. It really smells absolutely magnificent. Well, it's not unpleasant. All right, let me put it this way: I've had much better espresso martinis. This is Funkin' Nitro Cocktails Espresso Martini, infused with nitrogen for a velvety texture and smooth head. When was the last time I had smooth head? It's been a while.
I
Um,
just love the way we do ads. I've
yeah,
tasted worst.
I've tasted. Yeah, Funkin'. Who are they called? Funkin'? Are they the people who make this? Yeah, Funkin' Nitro Cocktails. It's okay. It's just okay. I've been to a couple of bars where they do really, really very, very good espresso martinis. I always feel the urge to drink them later on in the evening, which is terrible because then I'll be up most of the night once the caffeine's kicked in. But it's okay. But I've had better, if I'm absolutely honest. Uh, Anyway, so once we've got through the excitement of what Bonnie's drinking, which wasn't very exciting, now that you've mentioned Yule must. Hot. Uh, are we doing the wearing now? Is that how we're doing? We're doing this? Are we?
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. Drum roll, please. And there it is. And here is what Bonnie is wearing today. Look, she's got the merch on. Look, light till dark. And a little pink cardi just as an accessory, just to bring out the stars in her eyes. Marvelous. I wear mine a lot. Is it a particular company you go to for those? I didn't check a label or anything, but it's you're now checking, aren't you? I know. I should have checked it myself, but they're very comfortable. Don't rip the label out on my half. Don't break your neck
Oh, is
trying to.
that through to the loom? No? What's that?
Oh yeah, could be. Okay, fruit of the loom. All right, fair enough.
But I'm wearing this because Light to Dark will return.
It will return. When will it
And
return, Bunny?
I can release the dates today. It will be March the 26th to the 28th. So we're
Now,
moving from winter to a spring.
that's a big move. Do you want to tell the ladies and gentlemen why you're moving from November to spring, from winter to spring, autumn to spring? Because that is a big shift in dates.
We had been competing with some other film festivals, and we're just trying to find our slot. This is our fourth year,
Hmm.
and we're hoping to get a really kick-ass guest. Our guests have been amazing. I mean, if you haven't heard of us, we've had some amazing, we had David Ball, who's a producer who did like Day of the Dead. We've had Paul Weston, which is How I Met You.
Hmm.
That sounds like a sitcom, who's an amazing
How
stuntman.
I Met You. Yeah.
Yes. And the last one, which was very recently, we had Martin Hunter, who was the editor of Full Metal Jacket, amongst other things. And we've got brand new, hopefully we can book them, guest, and we're very lucky with who we get.
Martin Hunter, not Martin Turner, of course, the former guitarist of Wishbone Ash. We've had this discussion already. In public, I called him but I'll get it out in the open. I called him Martin Turner in front of an audience. And
To
over
his
lunch,
face.
funny thing was, over lunch, I called him Martin Turner and he never batted an eyelid. So I thought, oh, fair enough. I just crack on. It was only then when four people went, you mean Hunter? I went, oh, right. Who you? And I said to him, when are you going to stop me and tell me? He went, well, I didn't realise. I'm sorry. Such a nice bloke, is he?
Such an, oh, amazing. Really lovely, lovely bloke. And the stories he told, and he would say, so I was working on this small little film, and then he would go, The Shining.
The Shining.
And you'd be like,
Yeah. How did you manage to get involved with Kubrick in the first place? Well, I was working on this picture, The Shining, and they were. I'm sorry, what? The Shining, really? That interview, in fact, that panel, that was recorded and will be coming fairly soon to a British Swedish production near you. So you'll get to
an
hear
amazing panel
Martin and the
with two
crew.
other great editors, one who's a editor for games. And it was really interesting to see the difference between a
Hampus
film editor.
Peterson. Hampus
Mhm.
Peterson, the guy's name. Very nice guy too. Um,
But yes,
so
so
yes.
please, if you can get over to Sweden, it honestly is worth it. And I think around March is when Ryanair sort of starts flying straight to Örebro.
Do they
And
really?
we're only about 10 minutes away from the plane, the airport, which is a tiny little shed, but it does what it says on the can.
That's very interesting. Um, wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yep,
that's interesting.
Stansted to Örebro.
Stansted.
Yes, it's
Really?
Ryanair.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's Essex though. I've got to drive from here in the north or the Midlands anyway to Essex to then get a flight. All right. Well,
But
I
then
could.
when you get here, it's 10 minutes.
I know though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and we can meet for dinner, uh, uh, in that lovely bar, and we can have shrimp salad. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. How marvelous! Right, cracking
I'm
on
waiting
before
for
I
you to tell people that when we go out for dinner, I nearly always only have a starter or a dessert.
Yeah, she never hangs around for very long. I mean, admittedly, on the first night when I was there, she did. Well, did you leave Rocky Horror Picture Show to come? Is that what the deal was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and fair play to you. And it's not my favourite movie. But having said that, there were loads of people who turned up in gear, in costume, for the whole thing. Um, there were so many Frankenfurters knocking about. It was almost obscene. But there are photographs. Are they still up on the website? I know
I
there's a
think
huge amount of.
so.
Go on the website
Yeah.
or the Instagram feed for Light Till Dark, and you'll see all the photographs. Um, so yeah, she came out, and we had a quick bite to eat. I was there with my friend Mikhail, and who we always he's I've known him for years, but he's from Stockholm, and we never get a meet apart from when I go to Sweden. So I went there, and then she said, "Right, got to go. Lovely. Will you sort the bill out?" Yes, I'll sort the bill out for you. Don't worry, that's fine. And off she went, and she was quite happy. And then we met again the following day. So it was really nice, to go and to do that. But we you had discussed the airport there in Örebro. But I didn't think that, I mean, of all the airlines you'd want to fly there, I'm not sure Ryanair's one of them, but nevertheless, my BA flight, by the way, was very nice, although it was full of passengers, which was slightly annoying. I'd rather have had it on my own, but what can you do? Still, that's it for next year. We'll do it all again next
And
year.
of course, you will be there.
I will be
You
there,
will
obviously.
be back in Örebro in
I'll
March.
be back in Örebro in March, and they'll find me
And I can
something to
get you
do.
some Easter. You can
No,
try
you
some
can't.
Easter. You must. Easter must.
I've tasted the
No?
Christmas one. It's shocking. Although, having said that, I have been my friends Eric and Angie, who live in Örebro. They said, "Oh, you've got to try the." They love the Yule must. Their kids love the Yule must, right? 7 and 5, their children love the Yule must like it's going out of fashion. They do a different one at Easter. I don't care what it is. I don't want any. It's horrible. So it's something that's brought in at a very early age, I would suspect, in Sweden. We just have, cheap sherry and stuff of
And we
that
can
nature.
also talk about when you come here, we can explain the whole Easter that they do in Sweden because it's different.
Okay, not a chocolate in sight, presumably. It's all about bunnies. Is it all about rabbits?
Witches.
Of course it is.
They put different colored feathers on the branches of trees and stuff like that. That's the decoration, and it's they dress their children up as witches because it's when the witches used to fly to their back to their sort of place where they lived.
Okay,
So you would dress your kids up as witches so that they wouldn't take them with them. So you're kind of disguising your children.
right. Disguising your children. Ah, well, we've turned a rock there of all sorts of bits we found under that. All right, we'll look into that next time round in the spring. Join us in the spring in Sweden, please, if you will. I don't know when tickets go on sale, but just go to Light Till Dark on Instagram or the website. Save it as one of your favorites and keep in touch. All right. Right. What's in a name, Bonnie? We're going to have a look at something that is relating to a little Instagram thing that my colleague has found. And of course, as you know, she's a great one for rummaging through the bins. She absolutely loves it. And she finds a great deal of detritus during the course of this. Now, what she's found here is there is an account on Instagram called Analyze This Mr. Bond. Fraser Crane is the guy behind this, of the Bond fan community. He muses on the James Bond phenomena and the art of living well. And one of these is a thing called What's in a Name? Ian Fleming's untapped titles that have potential for future Bond adventures. Bonnie, do you want to give us an idea of what's what here?
So we've got one which is A Whisper of Hate.
A Whisper of Hate. This title comes from a chapter title of Casino Royale, of course, the Fleming book from 53. Veteran 007 screenwriters Neil Purvis and Robert Wade, and I apologize unreservedly for the language that I've just used here. We don't normally use the N word or the R word on this show, but I apologize. It's written here, so I've had no choice. Continually lobbied for Eon Productions to use this as a film, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. It was a delicious film noir feeling. Are there any other
I'm
chapters?
thinking
Maybe.
chocolate. I'm thinking chocolate. Isn't Whisper a name of a chocolate? A chocolate bar. I know it's a different spelling,
I was going to
but
say it isn't. It's a WISP. A whisper. Casino Royale. Yes. I'm trying to
A
think off the top of
Whisper
my
of
head. It's
Hate.
been a long time since I've read Casino Royale, so I'm not remembering the chapter particularly. Maybe it's something in connection with that. Whisper of Hate. I mean, anything really, if you word it correctly, if you put it in the
Mm.
right context, will sound good as a Bond title. What am I reminded? Tomorrow Never Dies, right? Tomorrow Never Dies wasn't Tomorrow Never Dies, was actually Tomorrow Never Lies, Lies, because it was about newspapers, it was about Carver and changing the news to suit himself, blah de blah. And somebody saw it and they corrected it. They assumed it was an error and changed the L to a D for dies, and that kind of stuck. So there's things that change regularly. And you go, oh no, I see that. I
I
see why they
actually
would have done
remember
that.
that there was a film way back called The Pope Must Die.
Pope Must Die, absolutely. And then it was
And
changed. Do you remember?
yeah, my sister-in-law is Spanish, and in Spain they just put a T on it.
Diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. In Europe, there was a great deal of the Pope Must Diet. Robbie Coltrane, of course, playing the Pope. And
Oh, I
we all know,
adored him.
Scottish actor, but nonetheless a broad-chested big fella. But the purpose of the movie was a plot to kill the Pope. So it was the Pope must die, but there were they still hadn't got over the whole Pope John Paul attempted assassination back in 81, I think. So there's a lot of that going on at the time as well. So yes, Whisper of Hate is the first one. The second one is called Death Leaves an Echo. Echo, echo, echo. Um, it says here in the description, die, death, dying. Maybe a bit played out as far as Bond titles go, but this title is too good to not use for a future Bond film. This was Ian Fleming's original title for his short story For Your Eyes Only, and I think it's one of the best, both punchy and evocative. I don't know. Do we need evocative? Well, I tell you what, we do need. We do need. Um, I'm perfectly happy with all the Bond titles. Spectre was very obvious. The after Skyfall, they obtained the rights to the Blofeld name, didn't they? Along those lines, and therefore Spectre made a great deal of sense as far as that following the fact that the script was like written by toddlers is neither here nor there. It was a very complicated. It's a great watch. It's just that whole section in relation to the relationship between Bond and Blofeld and them turning out to be related in some shape or form. It's all a bit silly, but that fair enough. After that, the title "No Time to Die," where you then kill the character, does seem somewhat ridiculous if you're looking at just titles. And For Your Eyes Only, fair enough, and it's mentioned during the movie. Octopussy was a character in the film. A View to a Kill was mentioned in the movie. Living Daylights was mentioned in the movie. Was License to Kill mentioned? Yes, it was License to Kill. Your license to kill is revoked. Because
And
it
of course,
used
that
to.
was going to be called license
That's right.
revoked.
Yeah, but a large proportion of the uh,
Americans.
well, Americans, you didn't know what the word revoked meant.
How do you even bridge that kind of conversation? Do you just go up to Americans and ask them
You write it
this
down
word?
and then you stamp your feet on the floor and you dribble a lot, and they go, "Oh, oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, I understand now." They did exactly the same with The Madness of King George, a movie in '95 starring Nigel Hawthorne. But the original screenplay to that was The Madness of King George V. But they couldn't use that because the Americans hadn't seen the first four movies. There's a whole, it's just, we're separated by a common language. It's very, very confusing. So there are things that death leaves an echo. Also, if you're a songwriter, let's look at it from a musician's perspective.
Well, yeah, I think this sounds like a romantic book.
Well, yeah, death leaves, it's a Barbara Cartland story, isn't it? I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Um, it's not a bad song title, though, to be fair. I could see Adele having a crack at that in some shape or form. The next one's even worse. The next one we may not be able to use today. It's called Choice of Weapons. This chapter, titled from Dr. No, may lack a bit of flash of some other Bond titles, but has a connotation of duty and honor codes of yore that would make it a striking choice. I'm not sure that chapter titles actually work as titles of books.
Mm.
They're chapter titles for a reason, right? You wouldn't want to
Yeah.
just remake it and re-debunk it and come up with, oh well, that'll do, you know. Um, is that the last one? Is that yeah, the last one here is My Enemy's Enemy. This one comes from the Ian Fleming notebooks of ideas for Bond stories. The proverb, "My enemy's enemy is my friend," was inscribed there. It's a natural fit for Bond, an early version of Skyfall. Had Bond and a master assassin forming an uneasy alliance to uncover a greater threat. This title would be ideal for a story like that one. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that under the circumstances, you have to look very carefully. Again, I'm sorry to mention the words, but Purvis and Wade um, used to get into a situation where they would write something and then they would just throw out titles. They'd throw out ideas and then they go to IMDb and find, oh, we can't use that. That was a television series back in 1974. Um, we checked this one out. You can't use that. That was a TV movie in 1980. All that sort of stuff. You just general bits and pieces that you can't do. But that's really, unless you're absolutely certain that that is a great title. And many, many movies have terrible titles and yet go on to be really successful. Um, the world is not enough is it's been crying out to be used as a title over the years. Bond's motto on his coat of arms. Brosnan mentions it during the picture later on. Um, you know, I think that a lot of them say exactly what they do on the tin. The Man with the Golden Gun, Moonraker, Thunderball, Goldfinger, From Russia With Love. It's exactly what it's supposed to do. But there are titles that maybe shouldn't have to be worried about. I think that they're thinking far too far. Well, I do anyway. So that is our contribution from there. You wanted to talk about odds. What's the deal with the new odds at the present time? Because things have changed, haven't they? So consequently, the odds that we often look at from time to time in regard to the new players in the Bond world, who could be, might be, should be, that sort of thing. Things have changed lately. Do you want to tell us more about that, Bonnie?
So this is coming in from, yeah, it's me going through the bins again. So this is being reported by Time and Tide.
Time and Tide, my
Yes, I
favorite
think
breakfast
they
cereal.
have something to do with watches,
Okay.
but they are getting their information from Vegas Inside, who are tracking the James Bond odds from
Oh,
multiple bookmakers.
okay. Time and Tide watches. You're quite right. May I just read this opening burst here? 4 years on, who's most likely to be the next James Bond? The current odds might surprise you. A fair amount of blah de blah in the first paragraph. 4 years on, and we still don't have a clear answer on who's taking the mantle. It's been plenty of speculation, though, as I reported back in May, Omega's signing of English actor Aaron Taylor Johnson as a brand ambassador seemed like an obvious sign that this confirmation as 007 was imminent. However, according to the most up to date odds from sports betting website Vegas Insider, Taylor Johnson isn't currently the favourite. For years, blah de blah. Vegas Insider has been tracking the next 007 odds for multiple bookmakers, creating an average of the most likely actors to follow in Daniel Craig's footsteps. And for the first time ever, Callum Turner has overtaken Aaron Taylor Johnson as the number one most likely next James Bond at odds of, I don't even know what that means. Let me read that out so I know what it says. At odds of plus sign 262, or an implied probability of 27.6%. Do we have anybody from Vegas Insider to understand what on earth they are talking about? What's this second one? Aaron Taylor Johnson is second place with odds of plus 280, an implied probability of 26.3%. Now, with the greatest will in the world, I've read these two first and seconds, and all of a sudden, I don't care about the story anymore because it's just nonsense. I'm going to read the rest of the people without the odds because that's just stupid. So you got Callum Turner first, Aaron Taylor Johnson second, Henry Cavill is in third place. Theo James, for again reasons better known to somebody else, is in fourth place. Jack Loudon and Harris Dickinson are tied. Maybe at the ankle. Maybe they're doing a three-legged race. You see what I did there? Then maybe never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Fifth place to play Bond and Diddler. In
No
contrast,
mention of, yeah, no mention of
no
Jonathan.
no mention of your lovely friend and friend of the show, Jonathan Bailey. In contrast, Eddie Redmayne, who's previously been speculated to be the next Bond, and also Omega Ambassador, has fallen out of the top 15 spots. Well, it's not for the want of trying. Good Lord, can you believe it? Well, I'm sorry, but just utter nonsense from start to finish. I'm scanning through the rest of this. There must be 1,000 words here. All of them nonsense. How fascinating. Now,
I I personally don't like that Callum
Callum
Turner.
Turner was in that thing that we were watching recently. Do you remember? What was that? Oh dear, BBC One show. Really very good. He is not.
Slow horses?
No, no, no,
No?
no, no. He's not responsible for the death of somebody. Somebody believes he is, and everything is on the basis of him being the culprit. But he clearly hasn't done it. I mean, there's no two ways about it at all. I'll once I find the details, I will post them in the notes. But a really good show, and I must say, I thought he was terrific in it. So enjoyed him enormously in that. Um,
I don't think that's hit Sweden, so
it's not right. Okay, it may not have hit Sweden yet, but it's a very, very fine show. Was definitely a BBC thing. Okay, that was that one there. Right, looking at the next thing I'm looking at here, which says the new Thomas Crown affair. Like we need one, right? This is the opening patter here. We've had two up until this point. We've had the original with Steve McQueen as Thomas Crown. It's a
and Faye Dunaway.
and Faye Dunaway. It's a glorious, beautiful, spectacular film on so many levels. McQueen's never looked better. Dunaway has never looked more exciting.
It's
It
so
has,
stylized and beautiful.
yep,
The clothing, the set design, that whole playing chess instead of having sex, the car, everything is just on point.
Yeah, it's really very, very stylish. It also gave us Windmills of Your Mind,
Hmm.
which was then recreated in the following movie, many moons later, the Pierce Brosnan picture by Sting. Sting sang it on the soundtrack. So you then had Pierce Brosnan playing Thomas Crown. Who was playing with him? I've had a complete memory
Is it
lapse.
Rene?
Rene Russo, that's exactly who it was. Thank you very much. I'd completely forgotten her name. She was the leading lady and magnificent. It was really well done. It was really stylized.
They
It was
had really
splendid.
great chemistry
Yeah,
together.
they worked very
Very
well.
convincing.
The whole thing really, really worked. And then that's it. What, 30 years ago? Nearly 30 years ago, that. And now another one. I'm not sure. Again, I'm always really worried about movies that find themselves having to be remade over and over and over again. The first two, the one in the 60s, the one in the 90s, they're very of their time and they're very, very classy. And I think a lot of that has got to do with Steve McQueen in the first one and Pierce Brosnan in the second, who are single handedly spectacular. Everything around them, the cast and everything else, works beautifully, but they are the two bigger characters. In this movie, we now have a new Thomas Crown affair. I will read you a moment of bump, if I may. It says a fantasy about a stylish daredevil with a taste for the high life. Thomas Crown Affair has had loose association with James Bond from the very beginning. Sean Connery was one of the original choices for the title of the 1968 film, which would end up going to Steve McQueen. Then 007 Pierce Brosnan starred in a high-profile and, in many estimations, a superior 1999 remake. The influence of Steve McQueen's aesthetic on Daniel Craig's version of James Bond only furthered to reinforce the connection. Now, Amazon MGM, remember them? The studio behind the new Bond film is launching a third interpretation of the Thomas Crown affair. This new version will serve as one of the major tentpole releases of Amazon's MGM new theatrical release strategy, with a wide release on March the 5th, 2027. Right? 2027 is when it's coming out. That includes IMAX distribution. This will pave the way for even larger theatrical releases from Amazon MGM, including Denis Villeneuve's Bond 26, which is expected to release in late 2028. Michael B. Jordan directs and stars in the title role. The reimagining has been a long-standing passion project for the star. Production kicked off in London earlier this year. Adria Arjona plays Crown's love interest, while Kenneth Branagh, Lily Gladstone, Danye Guria, and Pilau Ashbeck and Aisha Hart fill out the remainder of the cast. Um, Okay, what are your thoughts initially on the basis of, firstly, another Thomas Crown affair, and secondly, Michael B. Jordan?
Well, I don't think we need one. I'd like to
Uh-huh.
see something more original.
Yep.
I like Michael. I mean, he's easy on the eyes. I do like him. I don't. It'd be interesting to see how he does with it.
Hmm.
I'd be also intrigued which job he got first. Did he get the job directing and go, "Hey, I know exactly who should play this
Oh, I
part,"
see. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
or did he get the part and go, "Hmm, I know who really has the vision for this. It's me."
Yeah.
But it does have Kenneth Branagh in it, and you know I'm not fussed on Kenneth Branagh.
He speaks
So
highly of
that's
you. I mean, I
actually,
find it very difficult that he can say lots of lovely things about you, and yet in a moment you throw him under the bus. What's he ever done? What's he? Oh, okay. Let's get to the bottom of the Kenneth Branagh thing. Why you no likey him? What he do you?
I mean, I like his early work, I liked his Much to Do About Nothing,
Okay.
but I don't like what he did with Agatha Christie. He turned
Oh, right.
um, Murder on the Orient Express, he made the Orient Express look like a caravan, and I can't stop him.
Ah,
I can't forgive him
he
for
can't
that.
be stopped.
I know the whole concept of Murder on the Orient Express is it's about the Orient Express. It's in the title. It's about the train.
Hmm.
This train is a precise piece of mechanical kind of like steam. Oh, I can't even get all the words out, but it's like it's always on time.
Yeah.
Everything can be trusted. Nothing
Yeah.
awful can happen.
Uh-huh.
And he not only diminished the train and made it all about him, but like I said, he took the roof off the train at one point so we get the above shot. So it just makes it look like a
Mm.
caravan, a really cheap holiday in Bognor Regis.
Yeah. I mean, I just the Albert Finney um, Murder on the Orient Express is absolutely my 1974, I think it is. It's just it's one of the great and funnily enough, Peter Ustinov as Poirot, I think is magnificent. But Albert Finney in that movie as Poirot is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Um, really very good. Connery's in it, of course. There's a whole cast of remarkable characters. John Gielgud, Ingrid Bergman. They're just wonderful, and the pacing of the whole thing is terrific. There is also, of course, very famously David Suchet on British television played Poirot for many many years, and there is a version of that which is terribly good. What Branner has done, firstly, I think what he did, which was wrong, was casting himself as Poirot. I think there's your issue right there. I have no issue with him being a director. He's directed many things in the past. He's a very good director. He directed the Jack Ryan pictures, or one of the Jack Ryan pictures, I think, with oh, I can see his face. Is it the guy that's married
Chris
to?
Chris Pine.
Yes, right, him. He's directed that, which I thought was very, very good. But for some reason, and maybe it was a bankable thing, maybe the movie wouldn't have taken off if he hadn't cast himself in the role of Poirot. And then on the strength of that, he then gets an A-list cast to go, well, if he's in it, I'm in it as well. Gal Gadot,
Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp, uh, uh,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
um, Judi Dench, or that's that whole sort of thing. But
But then
I don't
and
know.
he also did the same with Death on the
He did
Nile.
Death on the Nile, and
That
and
was god awful as well.
I wasn't entirely convinced. I will double check that in point of fact while I am here, but I just want to have a little look as far as box office returns for Murder on the Orient Express.
But please, if you're listening, Kenneth, stay away from Agatha Christie.
If you're
And maybe
listening,
we can be
Kenneth, what
friends
were you
again.
thinking? 2017, can you believe it was that long ago? I mean, it's remarkable. Let me have a look down here. It feels like, I mean, it looks, there's been lots of CGI, there's been lots of technology that they've had at it. What's the deal down here? Blah de
One of
blah.
the opening scenes in Death of the Nile, you have two of the main characters dancing and they've never met before and they hit the dance floor and it looks like it's Dancing with the Stars. They do a huge, like, set piece and it just feels ridiculous.
Budget was 55 million was the budget, and it was actually quite a big success then. It took 352 million. Is that three times? No, it's not, is it? 50, nearly. It's nearly got itself back again. Um, let's do Death on the Nile as well while we're at it and just have a little double check. Because that's really on the basis of the success of the first one, would they have given the option for the second one? Unless it was down as a two-picture deal. He directed both, of course. Let me go down to the bottom here and see if it will give me some information regarding. Oh, I've gone too
Oh,
far.
and now he's done a third one, which I didn't even bother watching, the Venice one.
Oh, you see now Death on the Nile was an absolute flump. 90,000 budget estimated on the basis of decimal change. Gross worldwide 137 million. It just didn't do. I mean, no, they'd gone, we've had enough. We've
Mm.
had
And
enough.
then he did a third one.
Oh,
So,
I don't know what the third
is
one
it
was.
something in Venice? It's not Death in Venice. It's like something in Venice.
Okay. Let me just double check that. I know what you're talking about. You're quite right. I'm just trying to find the title of
It could be Death in
A
Venice, actually.
Haunting in
Haunting,
Venice.
haunting in
A
Venice.
Haunting in Venice. Let's have a look down the bottom and see if that made any money at the box office or if it was just no 60,000 budget, 60 million, I beg your pardon, budget. Gross worldwide 120. It only made 60 million back. Okay, so
But that one I
not
didn't even bother
great.
watching. I gave up on him.
Not great. Thomas Crown, of course. Let's have a look and see what the deal is as far as Mr. Bernard is concerned here. Is it out at the moment? No, no, it's not, is it? No, it comes out, March. Comes out March of next year, March 27th. And do we know what budget it has currently? No, we don't. No, it's estimated at approximately 120 million budget. It is based at currently. I mean, it's an all-star cast. Huge amount of lots of individuals there that are very bankable. Kenneth Branagh there. I'm interested. I think you hit the nail on the head. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he suggested this as a project. Maybe he's
Mm.
loved the Steve McQueen movie. He's loved the Pierce Brosnan one. Wouldn't it be great if, we got an opportunity to do it, and then it's been laid in his lap. Um, I don't know who wrote it, whether they've had the opportunity to come up with a project with that in mind. It's written by no, nobody I know at the moment, but obviously they've come up with the goods. So yes, it's looking very much as though that is going to be something to look forward to further down the line. Um, is it something I want to see? Not really, unless it's a really brand new telling of the same. It's going to be the same story, obviously, but it has to be done in a very different way to accommodate a brand new audience. You can't just give them the same. I thought the difference between the first picture and the second one were poles apart, and that's why they became very popular. This would have to be extremely different, and it's a brand new audience. You've got Thomas Crown is now a black actor,
Mm.
so you're appealing to a different generation as well, different audience. Will the story
I
still
mean, that's
work when
kind
you're
of
looking at it?
interesting because I don't think my daughter's seen either of the first two.
Oh, really?
So
Oh,
I always find it weird when people want to remake films that to a new generation who hasn't even seen the first two.
yeah, yeah.
So that it's not like they're going to get nostalgic over it.
No, that's true. I mean, everybody looks at it's the style thing, it's the class thing that with the first one anyway. Thomas Crown, Steve McQueen looking amazing. That whole the suit thing and the whole dark glasses and the gliding and all that sort of stuff. It's just moments. It's great moments. But still. So that's all coming your way. A new Thomas Crown, whether you like it or not. My advice, maybe at the moment, is to catch up on the other two. Have yourself all of your research done and dusted by March of next year. No, not next year, the year after next, 27, when it will come out at the cinema. The next point we are looking at is entitled Beatles and Bond. Bonnie, fill us in on some of the details here, please, my dear.
Okay, this is entertainmentnow.com,
Entertainmentnow.com, yes?
and it's about the sizzling Bond girl spotted 50 years after her 007 role.
Yeah. Barbara Bach. Do you know she's 79? Um, Barbara Bach, I'm sure she's back and not Bark. Back, Bach. The iconic actress who stole hearts as Agent Anya Amasova in the 1977 James Bond classic The Spy Who Loved Me. And for an entire generation, she is the Bond girl. I think for a lot of you, you've got Honor Blackman for the sort of '60s period, maybe. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. I think Goldfinger, Thunderball, maybe that period. But for the rest of the generation, those people who love Roger or that sort of, I think Anya is maybe it, and the former model and wife of Beatles legend Ringo Starr. Peace and love, Ringo. Looked effortlessly stylish as she stepped out in Los Angeles recently, evoking a hint of lovely Rita, Meter Maid, a Beatles tune, from her husband's Beatles days, as per photos. And I must say, you wouldn't, genuinely, you wouldn't think that this woman was a year away from being 80. She looks absolutely stunning in those photos. I appreciate that there are a number of photographic agencies, maybe the ones that took this, that might do a little bit of touching up here and there. They might even out a surface, if you understand my meaning. But I will say that these photos, she looks astonishing. As per photos obtained by the Daily Mail, the ageless beauty was photographed parking her car and feeding the meter with Grace. Grace? Grace. Dressed in a chic mix of casuals and polished pieces. Who writes this shit? Back.
I just
Uh,
love how they take a picture that we
Good
can all
Lord.
see and then decide to describe it to us.
Yeah, they describe it, but they don't describe what's going on. Because the only shot I can see is her very clearly just smiling into camera. Dressed in a chic mix of casual and polished pieces. Back wore tailored black slacks. Do girls still wear slacks these days after Marlena Dietrich's earth-shattering performance once in a man's suit? All of a sudden, women wore slacks at the drop of a hat. And graphic t-shirt layered under a smart blue blazer and completed the look with a pink and black sneakers. That's trainers for people who've never done sport before. She accessorized with stacked gold bracelets, a designer handbag, delicate rings, and classic aviator sunglasses, proving that timeless sophistication never fades. Even after more than 4 decades in the spotlight, Bach still radiates the same elegance and charm that once made her the most memorable Bond girl in history. It says see photos here. I'm going to click that bit. It'll probably take me to somebody emptying my bank account. Oh, hang on.
So the
Oh,
interesting thing
yeah.
about this is it's one of those things when you know something and then you forget. So I knew Barbara was married to Ringo, but then I forgot. And then when it came back up, it was like, interesting because they're making a Beatles film and a lot of them have been linked to Bond.
Oh, I see. See, this is the way your mind works. Your mind didn't do that. But yeah, now I'm looking at the photographs that they are referring to. These are the photographs that they've described, and with the greatest respect, she looks amazing. I mean, she really does. That photo may not have been touched up. Underneath is a photograph of her as a massiver in that pre-title sequence where she's um the Dr. Zhivago tune has gone off and it's the thing, Agent Triple X, and then she answers it and he gets out of bed. And then that's her. And she doesn't look a million miles away from different. She really has looked sensational. You would think that after marrying Ringo, it would have all gone south. But no, she's managed to keep herself together, keep her dignity, and go along with the fact that every year on his birthday he has to go somewhere and say to the world, uh, "Just give me peace and love now. Happy birthday. Look up to the heavens and go peace and love, and that'll do." You have to worry about people like that, but still, yeah, I can see how it's tied in. And they met, didn't they meet on the set of the movie Caveman? There we go. Back in 1981. That's how it all started. So it was a number of
Please,
years.
anybody who's seen Caveman, please contact us.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us how wonderful it was. Um, Oh, here's something I didn't know. Right, this says the couple weathered tremendous challenges, such as surviving a near fatal car crash, entering rehab together. Well, if you're going to go to rehab, go together. Before they turned their lives around in favor of charitable work and a commitment to vegetarianism. Not inviting them round for dinner this year, maybe. Although Paul always used to say that would do Linda would do the macaroni turkey. They go, what's that, Paul? The interviewer, not me. Obviously, I've never met him, but the interviewer is, I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, well, you know how when you make macaroni, it's better the following day. Maybe. Well, it carves just like a turkey. Right. Okay. So on
I
his
used
Sunday
to
dinner, who's
love
having that?
Linda McCartney's food when I was living in the
I did.
UK.
Did you have the Linda McCartney pies?
Yep, yeah, I used to
I was a big
love them
fan of
all.
those. Big fan. I loved them. I thought they were sensational. And then your favourite newspaper, the Daily Mail, did happen to mention that one of her, it wasn't an outlet, it was a factory or one of the production centres. And the reason that it tasted so good was because her chicken and mushroom pies had a fair quantity of chicken
Did
in it
they?
and not
Oh,
quorn,
wow.
which is what was the deal at the time. It's all been sorted and I'm not quite sure. I've never seen Linda McCartney's labelling since. Now, if anybody can confirm whether her produce is still going out, I know she had a company. Now, whether that's still working since she sadly passed away, I don't know. But I always loved her food. I thought it was terrific. Really very good. But very clearly, Barbara Bach is going to get a sort of double whammy when she has, firstly, a movie about the Beatles, right, which her husband was in. There's going to be a Ringo movie, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then there's going to be another edition of Bond for her to get all excited about as well, so that's good. Um, okay. Now then. Bingo cards at the ready, ladies and gentlemen. Bingo cards at the ready. You may remember that very recently, and you've probably seen this already, but Vanity Fair have had their very famous, they do cover photographs, big cover photo. Is it Men of the Year? Is that what it is? Men and Women of the Year?
Well, he has I think it's US Weekly, he got Man of the Year, didn't he? Oh, he's got Sexiest Man
Ah, that was
Alive.
People magazine. Yeah, he got sexiest
People,
man
yeah.
ever, according to
So
The
I,
View.
just for the viewers, what happens is me and John, we use Instagram and we message each other what we're going to talk about. And I haven't looked, but I'm scrolling down now to see how many times I sent something about Jonathan Bailey over to John.
I don't think you have enough time to
So
tell
it's
the
like
ladies and gentlemen how many.
once,
Probably about 9 million times, I think, is what's happened here. As soon as she
twice,
sees the letters JB, she gets all excited.
3 times, 4 times,
Probably just
five
today.
times. Yeah, 5 times
As we mentioned in
in
our
the
last
last
podcast,
week.
my colleague is madly in love with a homosexual man, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care. It's not remotely, but if he arrived on her doorstep, she would, well, probably have to have a restraining order put on him, put on her, I
I
imagine, a
think I would
muzzle put
find
on
it
him.
very hard to look into his eyes and actually make any kind of sensible statement. But I would give it a go.
I'll give him a good go. I would. That's what she's trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen. She'd give this man a damn good going over. Vanity Fair have created their cover. Let me just see if I can read some of this, which may give details in respect to leading men. That's what they're driving at. They are driving at their leading men. A scene. Who are the leading men here? Can I just see what's going on? Because bear with. None of this makes any sense to me at all. All of the actors, with the exception of Jonathan Bailey, are not named.
So you
Uh,
got Harris Dickinson,
why can't I see the
Paul
list
Mus
of the actors? Oh, here we
Muskeel.
go. Is that right? Right. Okay. So we have Jonathan Bailey, right? Let's get the bingo card out. Tick the box marked Jonathan Bailey. The triple threat, it says as a subheading. It's one day after Time named Jonathan Bailey as the world's most influential rising star. 1 month before he'll be appointed People's Sexiest Man Alive 2025. And 7 weeks before he'll reprise his role as Fiero in Wicked for Good and 6 weeks before he brings that library book back, which he's promised for a great deal of time and never got around to it. But right now, the 37-year-old actor has one thing on his mind. I love a bath, Bailey says. God, love him. The second most eligible human is Austin Butler. He's referred to as the Method Man. James Dean in East of Eden is the look that he's been going for. They've all been given looks. Robert Redford and Paul Newman in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Montgomery Clift in Anything. Austin Butler speaks of them with reverence and a sense of nostalgia for something he never possessed. The days where you didn't know as much about people, I long for that, he says. Glenn Powell is the toast of Texas. There's an old saying in Glenn Powell's family, a Texism that cautions against ego. Don't dance before you get in the zone. Don't dance
See,
before you
he's
get in the
on
end zone.
my bingo list of the guy with the thumpable face.
Ah, he's not on your list that your husband has. That's not the list. I saw this on a chat show recently where a member of the audience got very excited and she shouted out to this. I forget this. Was it Kirsten Scott Thomas? Maybe it was. And she said, "You're on my husband's list." And she said, "Oh my God, his to-do list." And she said, "Uh-huh." And uh, maybe it was Jimmy Fallon. But Jimmy Fallon went, "I'm sorry, what?" And she had to explain that there are lists with married couples whereby the man or the woman are allowed, if they were given a free pass, then you can name somebody. And Jimmy got really concerned because they were in the same room together, which was slightly annoying as far as he was concerned. Well, wait, wait, wait. This is a fantasy thing, right? You can't just be in the same room. But this is not the same list that Glenn Powell appears. The list that Glenn Powell appears on in your life is the one where you just like to beat him repeatedly with a stick.
Well, he's just got that kind of face. I mean, I am looking forward to the Running Man, but yeah, he does. His face looks like somebody needs to punch him.
the
And
the
please do not punch him. I'm doing this in a very Muppet kind of way.
the
So
the running
I'm
away
not
man.
sending out, yeah, I'm not sending out some sort of hitman for him or anything like that.
Duly
But
noted.
his face does look very punchable.
Right. The Glenn Powell family Texism, don't dance before you get in the end zone. Years ago, Powell finally attained to the career status he'd longed endured for him. Um, I do not feel like I'm at the end zone yet, he says. His fluffy pup, Brisket, lying in his lap. Fluffy pup. That's a dog, by the way, Fluffy pup. To keep playing the game is where I live. As soon as you feel like you've made it, well, that's the beginning. Oh, Glenn. On the list, oh, look, it's Michael B. Jordan, everybody. He's the old soul. Uh, if you've what do you say? You ever been to Cluck You Chicken? Asks Michael B. Jordan. He's en route to Vanity Fair's Hollywood issue shoot in London, but he can't help but salivate over his favourite wing spot when I mention I'm from South Orange, New Jersey, a stone's throw from Newark, where Jordan grew up. I haven't been there so long, he says wistfully. That's my spot. Oh, Callum Turner. Callum Turner's in this list. Look, the guy next door. There's a disarming normalcy to Callum Turner, the roguish Brit with grey blue eyes that match his zip-up track jacket. Those same eyes
That's actually,
crinkle.
by the way, how you want to describe a movie star. Normal looking.
Normally, the normal looking dude. Same eyes crinkle at the edges as he smiles awkwardly, angling his zoom camera and politely shooting away a hotel employee. Shooing away, not shooting away, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Shooing away a hotel employee from the sterile Los Angeles suite in which he sits. Humble but cheeky, Turner speaks so casually that it takes a beat too long to realize that when he talks about texting with Daniel, he means Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh, you guys. Oh, look! It's Harris Dickinson, who's referred to as the auteur. The auteur. On screen, Harris Dickinson has gone toe-to-toe with Angelina Jolie and Maleficent and Ralph Fiennes, or Rafe Fiennes, depending on how badly you pronounce it, in The King's Man. In person, though, he's shy. When 2022's Triangle of Sadness, the Palme d'Or winner film, put him on the map rather, and this year's Urchin, his feature directorial debut about the drug-addicted drifter, both earned standing ovations at the Cannes Fan Film. I'll try that again. Drug addiction drifter both earned standing ovations at the Cannes Film Festival, and a question from my colleague, who neglected to mention she was from this podcast instead. Dickinson found their receptions quite uncomfortable. And finally, not finally, no, I beg your pardon, Lakeith Stansfield. Are we familiar with Lakeith Stansfield? Life of Apparition. Lakeith Stansfield appears from behind a column, tall and rangy in a Yankees cap and Gucci loafers, a sly expression on his face. It's perfect. It's a perfectly Lakeith Stansfield moment. Delightful and a little creepy all at the same time. An echo of his role as Andre, the haunted character from Jordan Peele's Get Out. Probably the most responsible for putting Stansfield on the map. Okay. Riz
Oh, okay, now I know
Ahmed.
who he is.
Riz Ahmed. Is he still on these lists? Riz Ahmed rise to leading man status did not happen overnight. I did some careers, have a defining... No, let me start that again. I think some careers have a defining moment that's like a rocket ship, Ahmed tells me. And I think other careers kind of build steadily, and most careers build unsteadily, like a roller coaster. Andrew Garfield? What is he, 91? Good Lord, Andrew Garfield is trying to remember what he had for lunch, which is important only because he's trying to figure out what to have for dinner. And that matters only because the 42-year-old actor is Spider-Man slinging from one high-profile project to the next and has to keep his figure slender. Paul Maskell. All the favourites here. A beige t-shirt, pockmarked with holes, gently mused bedhead, sleepish smile. This is Paul Mescal's ordinary guy armour. Since catapulting to fame in the pandemic-era sensation Normal People, the Irish actor has cornered the market for approachable-looking characters with tortured souls. His character seems to leak emotion through their pores. Who's this dude? Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, that's the guy from Bear, the cooking
Oh,
show.
oh, okay, right. Jeremy Allen White, not even Jeremy Allen White. That's not how I understand myself, he tells Vanity Fair over Zoom from his Los Angeles home. It does feel a bit like people are talking about someone I don't know. He uses his middle name professionally out of administrative necessity. The Allen was only added when he learned that another Jeremy White was previously registered with the Screen Actors Guild. There's a dude here, genuinely, called ASAP Rocky, and the S, the AS in his name, is a dollar sign.
Yeah, isn't he with somebody famous or something? He's a rapper.
Oh, is he?
I,
Okay.
yeah, I think I
Lord.
feel like he's popped up somewhere else that hang on, let
With
me just double check
with an
because I'm
air
not
of
really
with
into
an
my
air of
rappers.
effortless certainty, ASAP Rocky squinting One early evening in the Los Angeles sun considers the future. Acting is just another component of the great arts, he says, flashing a knowing smile. Do you think I'm a Renaissance man? He says.
Yeah, yeah. His partner is Rihanna
Good Lord. Well, it's never raining where they are because she's always equipped with an
with an
umbrella.
umbrella. Yeah.
Uh, that's about as good as I've got. I'm sorry. So there we go. They are the list of the individuals that are responsible for the Vanity Fair Who's Greatest in the Whole World Ever
What
list.
I would really like to know is when Harris Dickinson was being in the room, there's photos of them in the room together with Jonathan Bailey, if Bond popped up, or if a person not too far away said, "Oh, I was in Cannes once and somebody said I was only the second choice and you were the first
Yeah.
choice."
Yeah, I it's got to be it bound to have been mentioned. It's bound to have been mentioned. Am I right in saying from that Q&A thing that the guy sitting next to Harris, you said Jonathan Bailey, and the audience went, ah, like it was just the most common thing in the whole world. People go, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah, that's fine. And then the guy next to Harris said, I've got his number, I should ring him. Is that right? Did I dream that, or is that exactly right? I seem to remember that.
No, Harris said that.
Harris said, right, Harris, I've got his number,
Yeah,
I should ring him. And
yeah.
there they are together. And if they hadn't discussed you, I would be really put out by the whole thing. I think it's probably the most common thing in the world. Um, on the
I
note,
would love to be discussed by those two
of
people, and
course
I
you
don't
would.
even care how they
Of course you
describe
would.
me.
I've been discussed. I've discussed a few people in my time. They don't talk to me anymore because I was disgusting, you know. Um, on the subject of Wicked, can we just? There's a thing, and I'm really confused about it, if I may. Jonathan Bailey, of course, in Wicked, not disputing that, and he hasn't cropped up in this. But the relationship currently between Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande in interviews is horrifying. I genuinely am disturbed by what's going on. Do you think that because they're so emotionally charged by everything that's gone on during production, but it's about the yellow brick road and it's about, you know, the Wizard of Oz. Um, do you think that when Spielberg and Liam Neeson and everybody else made Schindler's List, they were this emotionally charged afterwards that they could finish each other's sentences and I'm really concerned that that's not the case anymore. And I don't understand what's going on. The two, I
I
saw an interview with
haven't,
them recently, and I mean, they may as well move in together. You know, it's really quite alarming. Are you familiar with this?
I haven't seen a huge amount of it. I've only seen like a little bit,
Right.
but I don't want to be cynical, so I would rather that we are so used to actors hating each other. We're so
But when they
used to
like each other, go,
like,
let them get on with it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm liking it. I want a bit of a loving kind of thing. So yeah, rather than you constantly see, and you can see in interviews and stuff, you can look and you think, oh, those two really don't like each other.
Aren't being in the same
Or
room with each other. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're not in the same room. They don't want pictures taken together on the red carpet. So I'm loving this positivity. I am all for it. They're both obviously kooky as hell, but they found each other, so go with it. And I'm a big sort of I love Wicked, and you can testify to that because I don't know how many Wicked cups of coffee you bought me just because of the name
Yeah.
while you were here. But I'm just like I'm all for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find it a bit odd. I've never seen any. There's so many stars of movies that do interviews together. And yeah, they might go, "Oh, that's a really interesting question," and they come at the interviewer in a slightly different way and go, "Look, no, no," or for him or her to go, "Look, I'm only allowed to say one more question," and then go, "No, no, no, it's okay. He can stay for a few more." That sort of thing. That's fine. I've seen that happen before because they have a rapport with the interviewer. But these pair, I mean, it's really, really concerning that they have such a rapport with each other. Um, and everything in that moment becomes almost inconsequential. It's the most extraordinary thing. But I've never seen it with any other scenario. I've never seen any
I
other
hope
situation where that happens. It's very odd, very
I hope
peculiar.
they can survive when they have to decouple. I hope
Decouple,
they,
is that a thing? Is that actually going to happen?
yeah, well, I'm worried what they're going to do when they don't have a film to promote and they're not together anymore.
Um, well, I suspect, he said, reaching for his power cable. There we. I suspect that they will probably just ring each other and go, "Look, we need to have something done here. Can we talk? I've got nothing to talk about." Go, "Yeah, okay." There we go. Power on.
But yeah, I love them. They're nuts. They're the nutty pair next door, but I love them.
Mad as a box of swans is what they are currently. More
Mm-hmm.
power to their elbow. Um,
We
apparently, there
got
is
one last story
one last
to
story
cover.
in relation. Well, it depends which one you want to go. Do you want to go Pierce or do you want to go the difficulty in writing Bond 26?
Oh, neither of those.
Oh, right, as you were then. Pluck one out of the ether, far away.
I was going to go with the dog.
Oh, the dog. Yes. So,
And
as you may know,
you've got to put the link in because people have got to see this dog.
is this, are we talking about the same thing in relation to Witcher?
Yep.
Oh, right, we are. Okay. So, as you will have known, a friend of the show, Henry Cavill, was a shoe-in for the Bond role. I had it stolen away from him by Daniel Craig many moons ago. He's never really got over it. He's tried his best to do a few bits and pieces as far as other work is concerned, including Superman and including the Mission Impossible picture, where he reloaded his arms, if you remember that one. But also, he was involved in the television show The Witcher, which was on Netflix, was terribly successful. And then he left. Do we know why he left? I was trying to tie up the timeline, but I'm a bit confused as to why he left. Was it because he had the
Um,
option of another project, or was it because he just didn't want to do it? Or was it the Warhammer
there's
thing?
actually a story about Netflix. Okay. Um,
Because that's where I was going with this on the basis that
mm,
he leaves and
yeah,
all of a sudden,
they're saying they regret letting Henry go.
yeah, they've got to
So he
fill his
wanted to
position
leave. Mm.
and they have Liam Hemsworth drop into the position and become the character that Henry left, and nobody's watching the show. So clearly, Henry was the real deal behind the whole thing, and consequently, it's lost millions. I mean, Netflix is saying that it's lost what 50 million was it? I think was the last figure that they quote.
25,
25
I've got
million.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, $25 million loss, all tracked back to a single comment from The Witcher's director, the moment that pushed Henry away and sent Geralt plunging into the abyss. "I should have listened to him," said the director in relation to that. All right, tie the whole thing in with the dog then. They should have asked the dog. Tell me what the detail is
Yeah.
as far as the dog's
So,
concerned, connected with that.
yeah, so if they hadn't have asked Henry, they should have asked this dog if it was okay. And this dog's name, you can find him on Instagram. He's Roy, Rory dot MERIE dot French.
Hang on, that's Rory. Rory, yes, dot,
Yep. The
yes.
dot MERLE dot French.
Oh, I got Frenchie. He's a French bulldog. That's what he is. He is a
And
French
he
bulldog.
seems to be, apart from that guy, Can you remember where that guy lived? Was he in Vegas, the guy who had the Henry doll?
Oh yes, yeah, that was kind of creepy, to be honest.
Yes, kind
Raw
of creepy.
Rory, the international superstar, Henry Cavill fan, and grumpy Oreo Blizzard in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Rory is a French bulldog. He's absolutely gorgeous. And there's a video of him playing the new Witcher season on Netflix. And you can tell the exact second that he hates it because there is Liam Hemsworth. There's the dog. And the dog presumably, no, thinks, well, bugger it, and turns around and walks away.
You ready to watch The Witcher? I gotta put it on real quick. It's gonna be a second.
What should I use to describe your head? Nothing seems quite massive enough to me.
Get out. I want to see you again.
I never want to be without you.
What?
Everything I didn't like last time. Be senseless if you were to stop.
What's the matter? What?
He turns round,
And he
walks away
walks
in
off.
disgust, as if to
And he
go,
walks off to his little bed that's
Off his little
covered
bed.
in Henry stuff.
yeah, he's got Henry
It's
stuff
got
all over the
cushions.
place. Good grief. I mean, there are bobbleheads, there are cutouts of Henry, huge amounts of Henry stuff, all being packed away because Henry is no longer in The Witcher. And Rory, in fact, Rory has gone to the Witcher premiere dressed as Henry. Has he met? Who's he met? He's met somebody special. It says in this particular video, there he is on the black carpet with his owner, who is evidently heavily tattooed. Henry isn't heavily tattooed because he's a dog. You don't tattoo dogs. That would be terrible. He's wearing shoulder pads and a blonde wig, as one does. And I dare say that he's going to... there's Liam. Liam Hemsworth is there at the premiere. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. That's Henry at an earlier premiere. I beg your pardon. I've got my dates wrong here. So, yes, he's met Henry. Henry's completely fallen in love with him. And yet, further down the line, when Liam's in charge, not in a million years. So he wants nothing to do with that.
So this little doggy is going to have to wait for Highlander. And you never know, maybe he just might become a James Bond fan.
There can be only one. Yes, there can be only one Henry and only one Rory. And Bond fan in that household likely. Well, there we go. So that's our little look at the world of James Bond and its surrounding bits and pieces this week. We hope you've enjoyed that. If you haven't, well, there are other podcasts in the world, but, you give us a go. Have a listen, see what you think. Subscribe. The little information is at the bottom there. You can click and subscribe. There's also a Linktree link if you want to find the videos. They're actually on my YouTube channel, so you can go over there and find them there. There's a playlist that says Bond Buzz episodes. Chase them up there. We'll be back next week for more of the same. And until then, it's bye for now.